Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Some shocking, maybe not so shocking news, depends on your perspective. Bill Cosby will be released from prison. Cosby was serving 10 years, and I guess he did about almost 2 years. But the case, you can just, for whatever reason, if you happen to be finding me or if you're a subscriber, I appreciate it, but this is shocking news. And this is, in my opinion, a scenario where the system has failed the victims, the claimants of abuse. The system, meaning that either the prosecutors or the judge or the judicial system, great error. And a friend of mine for years has been telling me privately he thought that this would happen because of his own opinion, viewing the case. And it's not to say that the women aren't correct and that Cosby is not guilty, but the way that the case was handled. I guess the side lesson here is that you have to do things by the book in a legal manner. You can't be so zealous to convict someone, even if they're guilty, by breaking the law yourself or breaking the protocol, however you want to put it. The terms might be escaping me. So I feel bad for the people that are victims. And you might be saying, well, gee whiz, Mike, how do you know what happened? All I can tell you is I listened to this podcast. I believe it was a long podcast last summer of 2020. I was listening to a lot of podcasts, and it was called Chasing Cosby. And it went through a very detailed account and analysis of all these scenarios, and Cosby on the Larry King show, talking about things that he would do, poisoning women, basically. And it seemed to me that Cosby, in a sense, had admitted guilt. And there was another piece of evidence, I think, that was brought to the trial that was incriminating. And I think possibly, that was evidence that should not have been allowed in there. I think what it was is something that was in the case of Cosby's case that the judge, for whatever reason, made available to the public, which was pretty damning, and that should not have been. So, quite frankly, you could say that in this scenario, most likely, and I'm not fucking there, I don't know, most likely Cosby was guilty, and he also received an unfair trial. So he was guilty, but he got an unfair trial, and now he gets to go home and live his final few days. And from what we've heard, once again, I've not met the guy in person, I don't know. From what we've heard, he's been suffering from old age issues and so forth. So the last couple of years, if there's any, I don't know what to put it, consolation to the victims, it's that he did serve some time in prison, which I'm assuming was uncomfortable. And so it probably took some years off his life. But this is the world we live in, folks. First of all, the most important thing is to not do this stuff, not take advantage of people, not sexually harass people, sexually assault people. And I guess the lesson, if there's any type of lesson for future lawyers, future members of the judicial process, you have to follow the rules. You can't just go cowboy seeking conviction. So I see a lot of people on Twitter getting all up in arms, which is fine. But I hesitated to just do a Twitter thing. I was I'll make a statement. My statement is, it's shitty. It sucks. I feel mostly bad for the women that spoke up, and they will probably feel, and I couldn't blame them for feeling this, that justice has been unserved. But I would say to them as a consolation, he did serve a couple of years in prison. And for what it's worth, as Felicia Rashad pointed out, legacy has been tainted. And this issue of sexual abuse, rape, horrible things, has been brought more to the surface for everyone to think about. And perhaps on a different level, our celebrity idolatry, whatever, idol worship that we put these celebrities on. You can't worship people. Okay? Anyway, have a good day. Crazy news. Mike Messier.